The following segments are pre-recorded and sponsored by Longworth Productions.
Major funding for Triad Today comes from Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina, making healthcare better for all. Run on the Runway on Triad Today. Hello everyone, I'm Jim Longworth and welcome to another edition of Triad Today, coming to you once again from the Curtisville Auto Museum. We'll tell you more about the museum later on, and also later on is when the roundtable shows up, so don't miss that. Lots of great guests coming your way and important information. I want you to know about where we want to start, though, is talking about a great program that's been going on to help a lot of folks. Now, I'm going to skip the lady on my immediate right and go to our special guest on the far right. Andy Botshert is the Community Relations Manager from Modern Auto. And Andy's special guest is Marnie Eisner. She's Executive Director of Education Foundation for Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools, and we welcome both of you to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Andy, let me start with you. What is Modern Auto's involvement with the school foundation? Tell me about that special project, because it's just magnificent.
Well, I'll back up a little bit and say that, for over 80 years, Modern Automotive and the Fowler family has been contributing in impactful ways to the communities where our employees and our customers work, live, and play. And recently been focusing a lot on initiatives that ensure the health, well-being, education of our children in the communities,
right,
as well as some marginalized communities and disenfranchised communities. And we saw an opportunity with the recent budget challenges facing the Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools,
right,
and ownership wanted to make an impactful donation.
Big check. How much was the check for?
It was $400,000.
Oh my Lord.
And we wanted to make sure it went to the right things in the right ways. We discovered the Education Foundation that way.
That brings us to Marnie. Marnie, just capsulize for what's the mission of the foundation?
So the Education Foundation, we work to help support students and teachers at the Winston-Salem Forsyth County Public Schools to provide enriching opportunities and really strengthen outcomes.
Right, and Andy referred to the financial crisis that we were in. How did that, it had to be such a challenge for you. How did you get through that?
I think sadly, you asked what our mission was and what we are supposed to be doing.
Right.
As soon as we learned about the financial crisis, it really became an emergency relief effort. All the dollars raised have been passed through to go directly to the schools where they're needed most. We decided to focus specifically on classroom supplies because I think everyone felt very strongly that our students and our teachers should not suffer as a result of this crisis that was not of their making.
No, absolutely not. And how do you balance the short-term emergency needs like this with your long-term mission, though?
I think unfortunately right now we're not balanced. We are wholly focused on the short-term needs.
Because this was the crisis.
This was the crisis. There continues to be money that needs to be raised around the debt. And so I think our hope is that maybe by the spring and into the summer we'll be able to turn back to our mission. But again, in terms of being in partnership with the school system and with our new superintendent, Dr. Phipps, we want to be there to support them where it's needed most.
Marnie, how important is, well, it's going to sound like a stupid question, but a $400,000 check, how important is this kind of support from Modern and from other folks?
I was so grateful to the folks from Modern. So we were specifically raising the supply dollars that the schools had not received. As a result of the crisis, they were only given half of their budget, which created such a huge challenge. You probably heard stories about not having paper, not having markers, not having the essentials that you need in a classroom to really enrich an educational experience.
Right.
We were at the $1 million mark at around Thanksgiving, and it was after Thanksgiving when Modern said, we want to do this for you. It got us over the top. Our goal had been $1.4 million so that we could distribute that money owed to the schools to start off the second part of the year and make them whole.
So the teachers wouldn't have to bear the burden on this.
Correct.
Teachers need to be paid more, I think, it's just an opinion. And on top of that, they're spending their own money for the supplies. Well, look, I think what the two of you doing together, the Fowler family, is, as Andy mentioned, is just tremendous. Up on screen, WSFCSeducation.org. That's WSFCSEDfoundation.org. Please check that out. Tell you all about the mission of the foundation that Marnie heads up. And also, please visit modernauto.com. We don't normally do commercials during a segment like this, but I'm going to do one anyway. Because here we are surrounded by some beautiful and vintage cars, and here we are with two very beautiful people, not vintage, who are doing such great work. And I tell you what, folks, you want to go buy a car? Buy from somebody that's responsible in the community, doing for so many people. I'll probably get in trouble for doing a commercial, but I did it anyway, Andy. So what do you think?
We appreciate it. Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you.
Thanks for all you do. We'll be right back after this.
I am so
Why
frustrated.
can no one help me?
Waiting is the work. I think it's healthcare is broken.
At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina, we get it.
Really?
Really. That's why we're making healthcare better for all. Starting with you. Yes, you, Daryl. We're making plans easier to navigate by putting your benefits, prescriptions, and details all in one place. Convinced?
No. But it's a start.
We'll take it. Blue Cross North Carolina. Making healthcare better for all. Starting with you.
The world's brightest are Fulbrights, Goldwaters, McNairs, and Spartans. Prestigious doesn't have to be expensive. UNCG. Find your way here.
Back now on Triad Today. Always glad we can spend a few minutes with the good folks from GTCC, and especially this guy who was with us a couple of years back. And don't wait that long to come back the next time, Nick.
We'll try not to.
Yeah, Nick Yale, Director of Aviation Programs for GTCC. I think folks know just from the media coverage and everything that GTCC, you're already a leader in the state for educating students about aviation. So we got that. But you just broke ground on something new. Tell me about it.
Well, up at our new Cameron campus, we have a facility where we own all the property in the backside out through the woods. We're building a 70,000 square foot phase one of our aviation campus. It's going to be expansion, but we're building that phase one expansion to allow for increasing programs, because demand right now in the industry is huge for students in aviation, not only technical careers, but also certified programs. So that's the start. It's just the beginning, but that's where we start.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and you said because of the growing need and everything. So I guess I'm answering my own question. But I was gonna say, why have something so big? Why do you're already doing all these great things? Why do you need it now?
Well, bottom line is, if you look at the companies that are here, the existing companies, they're growing. Right, so Honda and AAR, the other companies, they're growing. They need a set amount for attrition every year, but they also have growth. And then we also have a lot of new companies coming in at the same time.
Gotcha.
So if you add those new companies in and their demand, we're not going to be able to meet the need unless we grow.
Give me an example of the kind of training that you offer through the program.
We have 5 different programs, and right now our largest program is our airframe power plant program under Part 147. But that's our largest, but it's always in demand. But right now we're trying to grow all the programs based on the existing companies coming in. So a lot of the companies coming in need manufacturing skill sets for aviation.
Right. And in that regard, you're almost a recruiter. I guess you are a recruiter, because if a company's saying, well, look, we need to make sure that we've got people that are going to be properly trained, then enter Nick Yale, right?
Absolutely. I mean, well, it's not just Nick Yale. There's a lot of us involved, but the Economic Development Board, the county, the city of Greensboro. But I'm involved because every company that comes in, they need facilities like what the airport provides through Kevin.
Right.
They need support of financial support to get kicked off, and they need a piece of property. They need to build, but at the same time, they need a talent pipeline.
Right, and they sort of rely. There's got to be some kind of symbiotic relationship too between you and your team and the businesses coming in, because you don't just go to them and say, well, here's what we're teaching. We really don't care what you need. In other words,
Exactly,
you're sort of finding out exactly how you can make that specific, right?
Yeah, that's the key. Is when they come, it's not can we do it? Yes. Are we doing it? Yes. And we show them that. But then the key is really say, what do you need? So let's build that before you get here.
Right.
And we can start building it based on their needs with some of the tools we have now, but we can also add new tools, which is one of the biggest things we're expanding for in this phase 2 of our facility.
Are these high-paying jobs we're talking about?
Yes. I mean, entry-level wages in any career is not 6 figures, but after people get in and get some experience under their belt, after they gain their certifications, they're very high-paying jobs.
Now, how long on average would it usually take for a GCCC student to train for the kind of jobs we're talking about once they come into the program?
It kind of depends on which program they choose. Like some of our manufacturing options are as little as 10 weeks for that baseline entry for assembly. But there's also others that are up to 2 years. It really depends on the pathway they want to take. And the nice part about it is they could start with the 10-week option,
right,
and then roll that into one of our other programs that takes them to a higher level certification. So
right.
it's not like they have to stop They get the job, they start making some decent money, they can come back and improve themselves.
Well, let's talk about registration for just a second, because I'm ignorant about this. I don't want to make a mistake. Can somebody, just as soon as they see this show, they just run right out or go to their computer and say, I want to register for this? Or are there certain times a year that you register for aviation?
There's two different sets of programs that we run. We have continuing education, which has a rolling registration that people can register for quite quickly and easily. And that's not fixed on any one time of the year. Curriculum basically has fixed registration periods. Like the spring has already started. Summer registration is going to roll out in the next week or so.
Right.
But to get into next fall in the curriculum program, that'll be about June timeframe.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
Up on screen, you can go to this general website, gtcc.edu. I hope you will do that. It has many portals that you can visit to get more information about the courses that are available, about really what's going on with this aviation program and all the great things that Nick and his team are doing. I really appreciate what you're doing to help feeding that economic development engine, and I hope you'll come back sometime and give us an update.
We'll have to do it from the new facility.
All right, my friend.
Good job.
We'll be right back. Hi, I'm Jim Longworth, reminding you that Triad Today also airs on GTN Spectrum Channel 13 and streams on WFMY Plus, free on Roku and Amazon Fire. Back now on Triad Today, and we rejoin some part of the Triad Today family that was with us several years ago with the Winston-Salem Foundation. We're now with Keisha Jessup. She's Director of Access to Post-Secondary Education for the Winston-Salem Foundation by way of, I think, North Carolina Central, NC State, Appalachian State, right? Is that right?
All of those places.
All those. Yeah. What happens when they each play in a tournament in basketball? Who do you pull for?
I'm very quiet. Whoever's winning, right?
That's funny. All right. Hey, let's remind people, in case they don't know, what's the mission of the Winston-Salem Foundation?
We're here to make sure that our local Forsyth County community is here and we're thriving. So not just surviving, we're thinking about activities that support education for sure, but also housing, economic mobility, teacher grants, our Black philanthropic initiatives, Women's Fund, and Black Youth Grant Makers in Action.
Doing so many things. What about tell me about your scholarship program.
Well, the scholarship program actually started in 1923 due to a local tragedy. Leo Caldwell was a football player at R.J. Reynolds High School. He died suddenly during a football game, and the local community actually rallied around the R.J. Reynolds High School and created a scholarship. It's actually a loan fund,
right?
And it was hosted at the Winston-Salem Foundation.
And of course, Winston-Salem Foundation gives out a lot. You mentioned economic mobility a minute ago. I want to expand on that for a second. Why are scholarships so important to that particular mission of economic mobility?
Scholarships play a very critical part in economic mobility. It's how the Winston-Salem Foundation invests in individual people and families. So we know right now, as students and families are preparing to go to college, it's very expensive. If you think about nationally, student loan debt averages, the total is almost $2 trillion. And so we think about scholarships as a way to prevent student loan debt. As you think about it regionally, student loan debt impacts families. It limits their ability to purchase homes. It limits their ability to save and have a life that's thriving. So we think about scholarships as a way to reduce that student loan debt, invest in our local students.
Absolutely. There's enough obstacles in life as you go through it without having to start out with a big one,
Absolutely.
What do you ever receive, put you on the spot here, we didn't rehearse this, do you ever receive feedback from students or parents or people that have been with scholarships, and you ever hear back from them? Or?
Absolutely. We have lots of prior scholarship recipients. Some of them have actually created scholarships. So
wow.
that's really a deep way to invest. And then we also have a very strong population of former recipients that serve as volunteer scholarship reviewers. So they find ways to continue to give back to our community.
Well, you mentioned the word volunteer, so let me piggyback on that. How can the community at large get involved with all these great things that you're doing?
need to head to our website. It's wsfoundation.org. If you're looking at scholarships, you'll just do a /students. And you can definitely apply for all of our scholarships. We have over 160 different scholarships.
Can you apply anytime? Like if they go on it, they see the show and say, hey, you know, I saw Keisha on the show, I'm going to go to the website, and I'll put that up on screen in just a second. Or are there certain times a year or what?
Where our applications are open right now. So for our Winston-Salem Foundation Scholars programs, we're accepting applications through March 15th. Then we also have 2 additional programs, the Winston-Salem Foundation Access Scholarships that help students with providing a gap in financial need. And then we also have some scholarships that are set aside just for students exploring healthcare careers, and the deadline for that is August 15th.
What personal gratification do you get out of your job? I'm just wondering.
Oh my gosh, it's a wonderful experience to give away money, to give students opportunities. Students often say that receiving a scholarship makes them feel like they belong, that they have somebody kind of sees them, and I love to hear those student stories. And also engaging with our donors. A lot of our donors have actually sat in the exact same chairs as the students, so I try to share that with them. People locally have decided to give back because they know how hard it was to, to access college when they were there, and they give back. So
that's great.
It's full circle.
Up on screen, WS Foundation, of course, it stands for Winston-Salem. WSFoundation.org is the general website you can go to, with lots of different portals that you can find information on. And I just want to thank you for what you and your team do for so many kids and setting them on the right path. Thanks for everything.
Absolutely. Thank you.
We'll be right back after this.
I got free meals. What do you mean? No, seriously, how much did you pay us? I didn't pay anything. I learned how to cook all of these fresh foods that were delivered to my house. Everything in that grocery bag that's fresh, I had a recipe for it, and I know how to cook. It encouraged us to eat better, to shop better, make better decisions.
Now boarding zone 3.
Back now on Triad Today. I can't tell you, there's nothing I'd rather do than talk to these two folks, but well, they happen to be here, so I'm going to talk to them anyway. On my immediate right, our good friend Stephanie Freeman, who's Manager Marketing Customer Relations for Piedmont Triad International Airport, and our good friend Graham Bennett, Chairman of the PTI Board. Good to see both of you again.
Thank you.
Good to be here.
Stephanie, let me start with you. What is Run on the Runway?
It is an event we have each year at PTI. You get to actually run on the runway, and we raise funds for Second Harvest Food Bank, Greensboro Urban Ministry.
Oh, that's great.
Open Door Ministry of High
Isn't that
Point.
great?
So it goes to everybody in our community.
And there's no planes landing while you're running, right?
No,
Good. I will make that
take
clear.
care of that.
That's right. Graham, who benefits from this race? I know that Stephanie mentioned, of course, the food bank and urban ministry and everything. What kind of impact do you think that has?
I think that, the food scarcity is just getting worse by the day, even for working families. And I think what it does is send a strong message that we're a community-minded airport, and you have over 2,000 participants. It's amazing the family, the children that run and walk. And it's just a family affair, walking on a most unusual right down that runway.
I know it. It's kind of neat, too. Stephanie, now, are there several, it's not just like one thing, there's several things going on, right?
Correct. There's a 5K timed run, a 10K timed run.
That's right.
And you can also walk each of those, and then there's a kids dash at the end.
Do you have to be a serious runner to do these 5K, 10K things?
Definitely not. Unless you're getting timed and you're trying to go for one of those first place wins.
Yeah.
You can walk and run. You can stop early if you want.
Yeah. Now, why is this so different from other similar regional events, do you think?
Well, it's in a place that you don't ever, hopefully, get to go to.
Yeah, it's unique.
You know, you wouldn't realize that runway has got grooves in it, for the water. People don't know what a runway really looks like.
That's kind of interesting, just to get out and look at that, even if you're not running. Graham, you already mentioned this partially in your other answer, but I want to circle back. Fighting hunger, such an important focus right now, and it's something that we can all do to pitch in, right? It's not just people think, well, I'm at the grocery store, I'll give a can of food or something, but this is different.
It is different, and it started in 2010.
That's right.
And most recently, with the food shortage, we've concentrated on that. And over that, since 2010, we raised over 200,000 last race.
Wow.
And it continues to increase. And we've raised well over $1 million in the course of that race.
That is just, boy, that deserves some applause here. Now, how can folks get involved if they don't want to run or can't run?
Oh, PTIrun.com. You can sign up to be a volunteer. We need people to help with all kinds of things. This year, we're going to change things up a little bit as far as parking goes because we're running out of space.
Right.
But PTIrun.com.
Never want to tell a pilot that when he's landing. We're running out of space. You'll have to go there. All right, up on screen, PTI Run on the runway. That's Saturday, March 28th. The runsignup.com/race/NC/Greensboro/PTI Run. And of course, please visit the main website, fly from PTI.com. I appreciate what both of you do for the community and have for many years. Both of you great community servants, and it's going to be a great event. Thanks a lot.
Thank
you. Bet.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
At Sutton Brothers, we're confident we can help you solve your heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs.
So confident that we'll fix it or it's free. Our highly trained technicians will diagnose your problem and fix it with either a repair or replacement.
And if we can't fix it, you won't pay the trip fee.
So the next time you have a problem, call us.
We'll make sure you're completely satisfied.
Guaranteed.
Call Sutton Brothers today and be confident things will be done right. Schedule online at suttonbros.com.
Major funding for Triad Today comes from Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina, making healthcare better for all. The Roundtable is brought to you by Sutton Brothers, locally owned and operated and serving all of your HVAC, plumbing, and electrical needs. Back now, just about time for the Roundtable, but a quick shout out to the good folks here at Kernersville Auto Museum. You got to come out and check this place out. The website's on screen. It's great history here. Free, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Check it out. And check out this gang here with us too. Ogie Overman's with us, of course, a great journalist. And the great broadcaster Rosemary Plyman is with us, filling in for Keith. And Don Martin, Dr. Don Martin, Chairman of Scythe County Commissioners. Here we go. Greensboro News and Record columnist Charles Davenport recently noted that 41% of public school students in North Carolina are allowed to graduate even though they tested below grade level on their English 2 exam. Should we be graduating students who are functionally illiterate? Put another way, should schools require that students be proficient in English in order to graduate? Ogie.
I'm really torn, Jim. I'm going to defer to Dr. Don. I'm inclined to say yes, but I've never agreed with Charles Davenport. There must be something else going on.
Rosemary, what do you think?
I mean, yeah, I feel like we got to get students to where they can read and they can be productive citizens. So they can go into a job and actually be able to do the job.
Right, and communicate, Don.
Yeah.
Well, I agree that students need to be proficient in English to graduate from high school. However, I'll quickly say that the English 2 exam is not, taken in the 10th grade, is not exactly a measure of that. And the important part is, how do you measure proficiency?
Right.
Every high school English teacher would say, you passed 4 years of English, by golly, you've passed it, you're proficient.
All right.
So it's about proficiency definition.
All right, a major grocery store chain in New York City is coming under fire for using what's called biometric surveillance. The technology uses facial recognition, eye scans, and voice prints to collect and retain customer information. Guys and gals, you okay with stores using this technology, or does it constitute an invasion of privacy? Ogie.
Well, everything is an invasion of privacy anymore. Every time you turn on your computer or talk to Alexa, we're all going to be surveilled constantly.
So no big deal?
I don't know what you do.
Rosemary?
Yeah, I'm sort of in the same boat as Ogie. I mean, I don't know what to do. I mean, we have willingly given up our privacy in so many instances. And so what this store is doing is just whatever. I mean, it's actually
Would you refuse to go in the store if you knew they had it?
No, of course. No,
Don?
we can.
I probably don't have a problem with it. I think it has to do if you're doing kind of not much I do that surveillance is a problem. So
I always say my Alexa would be bored listening to me.
Yes, we're all going to follow Don around next week. Under current law, if a regular person defames someone, we can be sued or forced to pay damages. That's just the law. However, members of Congress can say anything about anyone without fear of reprisal, so long as their statement's made in the House or Senate chamber. You okay with elected officials being protected in that manner? Or should their speech be subject to the same laws as the rest of us? Of course, Dr. Don is an elected official, but what do you think, Ogie?
Well, here again, if you tried to enforce that with the House and Senate, every one of them would be in jail.
No, they would.
I don't know how I don't think you can, really.
Rosemary?
No, but I think you should, and I think there should be decorum and you should, all of those people, whether you agree with them or not, are really trying to do best by their community, their country, whatever it is, and there should be some respect for the office.
Don, they seem to get a pass for saying whatever they want.
I think they should not. And I'm an elected official, and I think I'm responsible for what I say, and I think there should be decorum in every public meeting room and every room that's around.
Right. In Australia, all employers are now required to contribute the equivalent of up to 12% of an employee's salary into what's called a super fund, which the worker can access upon retirement. Trump says he would like to enact that system here. But the question is, very quickly, guys, it sounds great, but would businesses go for it here in America? Ogie?
Why is Trump siding with the employee rather than big business?
You don't know.
Something else is going on with that, or he just hadn't thought it through.
Well, maybe, yeah. Who knows? Rosemary, what do you think?
I like this. Yes, I think this benefits everybody. It benefits the business in the long run, the community at large, and of course, it benefits the individual.
You think business would squawk at this if we tried to make them do it, Don?
Well, if you're matching Social Security at whatever it is, 7.6 something percent, going to 12, I'd say that they might be reducing some salaries to do a 12% match.
That's right. In other words, you'd start seeing the workforce eliminated some, wouldn't you?
Well, you'd have lower paid workforce anyway, and that could and fewer people that would qualify for a full-time benefit because it would not go to a 2-hour-a-day person.
So it'd be like a shell game if it went into effect.
I think it very well could be.
All right. Finally, a little boy in Kansas recently told his babysitter that someone was hiding under his bed, and sure enough, the boy was correct. The intruder was found and arrested. Now, the reason I bring this up is because our final question here, guys and gals, when you were little, did you ever think someone or something was hiding under your bed or in your closet? Ogie?
Yeah. There were alligators under my bed as a kid.
Really? That's what you thought?
Yeah. They were there. I'm sure they were.
All right. Rosemary?
Yes, it was usually my little brother. That story is terrifying, by the way, but yes.
Really? Okay, that's interesting. Don?
Well, yes, and I used to be afraid of skeletons, and I was afraid when I put my foot down on the floor, a skeleton hand and arm would reach out and grab my ankle. I was scared to death to put it down.
Wait, I didn't know this was... I thought mine was, I thought Ogie was under the bed. All right, that's all the time we have. Oh, except for this. 2 weeks ago, a truck carrying nearly $500,000 worth of lobster meat was stolen. And it was up near, I think, Illinois. And the Chicago police were asked what they thought about this crime. And one officer said, there's nothing I hate more than poached lobster. See, there's poached. They were stolen.
I like that one.
Very uncooperative.
That was good.
That was a good one.
That was good. I'm glad you explained it, though.
In here. For all of us here, I'm Jim Longworth. We'll see you next week.